Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, no matter where you're calling from. It is amazing to see you join us today on this August product updates here at Waybook. It's amazing to see so many of you coming in. My name's Mike, for those of you who've not met me before, and I've not had the pleasure of meeting you. I'm one of the co-founders here at Waybook, and it's my absolute pleasure over the next 30 or so minutes to share with you what's been happening on this side with Waybook over the last 30 days. And also, as you may have become accustomed to expect, a bit of a glimpse into the future as to what is coming into your Waybook account in the very near future. Now, as I'm just seeing the names coming in, it's great to see so many familiar faces. So hello, if you're joining us as a regular to one of these sessions, and welcome if it's your first session. For those of you who don't know how this works, we like to keep this as collaborative and communicative as we possibly can for a webinar. So please feel free to get involved in the chat. We have the fantastic Sophia in the background there, and she's there to answer any thoughts or questions you have. Ian, I love it. You're in already. Yes, we are recording this session, so you'll see it live, and you'll get a link for this after this as well. So as we're kicking off, please feel free to say hello in the chat, who you are, where you're from. I know from the names I recognize, we have a mix of people from around the world, which is amazing. So the other ways to get in touch with us throughout today are, of course, in the chat. We have some polls coming your way, and you also have the Q&A option on your bar as well. If you've got any thoughts, any questions, any feelings, chuck it in. We love to hear from you throughout these sessions. Now, I have genuinely been more excited about this session than I have been for almost any session I've done probably in the last couple of years. I think today, and as you'll notice, the next couple of days really mark probably some of the biggest releases that we've ever done here at Waybook. And actually, as well as them being big releases, they're insanely valuable releases. One thing I'm about to show you, when I first played with it, I genuinely fell off my chair. It's so mind-blowing, and I cannot wait to share with you what we've been working on. So hello to Isabel from London, hello to Carrie from Minnesota, and I know there's more of you not speaking to us, so please do get involved. So in today's session, what we're going to be speaking about is the fundamental updates that have gone out in August in the last month, and that includes an entirely new dashboard look. Now, none of you have seen this yet. It's been in a few people's accounts, on a few people testing it, but this actually will go live tomorrow. So this is a look into the future for you. We also have the Document Explorer view, which you'll be able to hear a little bit more about now and have a play with very, very soon. We also have the option and ability to do your publicly embedding documents, and we'll tap into that a little bit more soon. We've also released email insights, and the thing that was responsible for me falling off my chair is Waybook Ask. Waybook Ask is, I'm not even going to spoil it. I'm not even going to spoil it. So just bear with me, and we'll get to it very, very soon. But I hope you can tell I'm very excited. So as we carry on with today's session, I've just launched a poll on your side to get a bit of a sense of who's in the room and where you are on your kind of operations and Waybook journey. Well, whilst we're doing that, I just want to have a quick 30 seconds looking at what actually success looks like. Now, from the amount of familiar names there are on this webinar, I know there's some Waybook warriors in this room already. And I know many of you have already had lots of success with Waybook, but one of my favorite things to do is to speak to you and to learn about how people are using Waybook in their business. And a conversation I had recently, which really took my attention, was with John from Wine Enthusiast. John actually heads up the customer success department at Wine Enthusiast, and he really led centralizing all of Wine Enthusiast's knowledge within their Waybook. So he systematized and centralized his whole his whole kind of department within just a couple of weeks. And what he said is that he's been able to reduce the startup time, as he calls it, the onboarding time or time to value of his new employees to about 20%. So he's saved about 80% of the time it would have taken him to onboard his team before. Now, he's told me that in the first month alone, they were able to see a reduction of about $30,000 in unnecessary refunds and returns by empowering his team by having a centralized decision matrix on how to manage their customer base, which is just an insane piece of success. And we're really excited for John, the business, and the team. And it didn't stop there. John has now led the adoption of all of the other departments to centralize their knowledge within their Waybook. So no matter where you are on that journey, this is just a few of the insights and a few of the things that we can all look to achieve within our businesses, utilizing Waybook and your strong knowledge management, of course. But without further ado, let's just have a quick look at who's in the room. So we are majority in operations today, which is exciting. We've got 20% people are founders, and then almost everybody else, the other chunk of you, are in other, which is a reminder to me that I definitely need to get more creative with my options on this poll here. Now, most of us are looking to create and house our SOPs, with people looking to train and build our business playbook. And actually, all of us, interestingly, are within this kind of 1 to 100 team members size. So you're in good company wherever you are within that range. Amazing. So without further ado, let's jump straight into our first feature, which we're sharing with you today. And that is, of course, the New Look dashboard. Now, the reason why we decided that it was time for us to dust off those designs and go deeper into what a dashboard means for you, your business, and your team is because we really wanted to simplify the question of what's next. What do I do now as a new team member, as somebody who's already up to speed, as somebody who's kind of refreshing themselves on piece of knowledge and information? And even though our current dashboard does a pretty good job of directing your focus, we've spoken with hundreds of Waybook users and realized that actually quite a few different people want something different from the dashboard. So as well as giving this a spruce and increasing the ability for you to achieve what you want with it, we've also enabled you within the new dashboards to have an organizational customization, which means both you and your team members can design their dashboard to get out whatever they want. Now, what this essentially is a widgetized dashboard. It enables you to have exactly what you want on yours and your team's dashboard, and you can individualize that as I mentioned. Now, how do you get access to that? This is something that will be available on all accounts and actually will be released to your accounts on the 10th of August. The eagle-eyed amongst you will know that that is tomorrow. So what I'll show you now is actually what you'll get tomorrow. So let me just share my screen now into a Waybook, into a new Waybook Dash. And what you'll notice here is that it looks relatively similar. We've got a slightly different focus in terms of the menu being on the left-hand side, which means you've got a really good additional space for being able to see all of your knowledge, all of your content on the left-hand side. And then on the dashboard here, you're able to see that you have all of the fundamentals that you need both as an admin and your team needs as readers in order to get on the same page. So if you're using your welcome notes, you've got your welcome notes there. This is the almighty start here or what's next. Now, this prioritizes what content you or your team should do next in their learning journey, whether they are a brand new hire or whether they've been in the business for a long time. Now, what this widget does is it will surface the documents that are up next based on the flows that that person is in, if you're using your onboarding flows, or based on the deadlines that you have set against various documents. And if you're not using any of them, it will take the priority order on the left-hand side for the documents that that user has access to. We've also introduced a notification center. So if you're responsible for reviewing documents, for publishing documents, you can actually see that in your notification center and obviously mark them as complete. You've got your trusty progress, so you know how deep you are into your content. And then there's a whole range of other widgets in terms of what you've recently viewed, what's incomplete and needs doing, or if you're bookmarking documents and you want to go back to those same clear and consistent documents, you can do that as well. So this is your New Look dashboard. It enables you to see exactly what you need to see and go where you need to. However, I did tell you it was customizable. So if I toggle over into edit mode, what you can see here is that we can actually create an entirely new dashboard. Now, this gives me a blank slate and it gives me the ability to add a whole host of widgets. So say, for example, we want to have our progress on there. Let's say we want our progress on the left-hand side, and then maybe actually all we want is a big search box. For example, we can put a big search box there. And of course, we want our bookmark documents, so we can put that there. And what you can see is you can drag and drop, resize, remove, and really make the dashboard exactly what you need. If you have lots of bookmark documents, you can make that a big widget. Now, what's amazing here is you can actually create that for you, but your team can also create the perfect dashboards for them. So let me say this is my dash, and then I'm able to save that dashboard. And very soon you'll be able to set your individual dash as your primary dashboard, which means that that is the one you will consistently come back to. Now, this is something we're really excited about. We know that there are other things that people will want on their dashboard. So in true Waybook fashion, if you want something, let us know. We're really excited to see what widgets that you would like on your dashboard. Please let us know, because this is something that we are actively continuing to develop and make sure you have all of the flexibility you need. We are also in the near future making it possible for you to create a custom dashboard for your whole business, and then people can have multiple dashboards depending on the type of work they're doing and how they are consuming your content. So ladies and gentlemen, that's one down. We've got about 4 more to go, and that almighty Waybook Ask at the end. But that is your new look dashboard coming to you by tomorrow. The next thing that I wanted to share with you today is Document Explorer. Now, those of you who tune in regularly will know that we've spoken a bit about management of documents and exploring of documents, and we've really continued to fine-tune this with a very useful group of Waybook customers so far. So thank you so much for everybody who's contributed to that. The reason why we're considering having this additional view for document exploring is because many admins or kind of knowledge owners, document owners, really require this holistic view of document management. So everything within your Waybook enables you to control your content and really kind of make sure that you have the best knowledge for your team. But sometimes you want to take a step back and just see what's the state of knowledge, what's the state of documentation. So with your Document Explorer, you're able to look at that holistic view of all of the documents, who's managing it, what state they're in, what version they're at, whether they're published, things like that. So this view basically gives you that 10,000 foot view, and you're able to filter and adjust that in many different ways. Now, once again, this is available on all accounts as of tomorrow. And actually, those of you who do have access will notice that this will change location. And if I head back into my Waybook here, you'll see that there's an Explore button on the left-hand side. And if you click on the Explore, you will head into your Document Explorer. Now, with the Document Explorer, by default, it will show you all of the documents within your Waybook. You'll see here we've got 98 documents within the Waybook, and this does, of course, mirror the documents you have on your left-hand side. Now, if we want to see various different views from this, we can basically start to actually identify what types of content we have. So firstly, if we toggle the fields we want to see on this, we might say, actually, it's important for us to know what version these documents are, or actually, we want to look at what reference documents are. Whatever, all of the settings you have on any of your documents, you can customize this table for your view. Now, if you want to dive a little bit deeper into this, we can start to add filters to your table. So, for example, if you're using document owners, we can say, let's have a look at all of the documents that are owned by, many of you know her, the fantastic Elle here at Waybook. So we can say, right, well, Elle owns these 4 documents. They can be knowledge, they can be procedures, they can be processes. And for those of you who don't know, Elle is actually on maternity leave. She's just had her first child, which we're incredibly excited about now, which means in Elle being on maternity leave, we might need to look at this and say, okay, well, let's look at all of the documents where Elle is a manager of, or the document owner. And actually, let's just filter those documents by the ones that are still in draft. So here we're able to zero down into Elle's documents that are in draft. And that will mean that myself or somebody who's covering for Elle will be able to say, yes, we actually still need to continue to edit that document. And of course, you jump into that document and add, edit, create that knowledge as you would hope to. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is your Document Explorer. Once again, if there's anything that you're looking to find, see, or experience within your Document Explorer, please do let us know. This doesn't remove any of your existing management permissions or abilities. You can, of course, always drag, drop, edit, remove, hide, duplicate, whatever you want to do on your left-hand navigation as well. This is merely an additional way of you controlling your knowledge. So that's your second thing from today. We're just heading back into what is next. So after your Document Explorer, we have a bit more of a niche feature request here, which has made it into your accounts. But this is the ability to publicly embed your documents and your subjects elsewhere. Now, many of you will know that within a Waybook document, it consists of a whole range of knowledge, content, and information. That can be checklists, images, videos, but also it can be web embeds from around the world. But speaking to many Waybook users, sometimes we've found that they would like to take their Waybook content and embed that elsewhere. This can be anything from your terms of service on your website to delivery instructions that you want to embed into a third-party portal. So what we're able to do now is you can extend your single source of truth. If you've got your knowledge in your Waybook, you don't want that knowledge repeated in lots of different formats and lots of different places. So right now, you will be able to embed any publicly shared document or subject into any other location that accepts web embeds. Now, the way you do this is you simply will go to your document settings. It's available in all of your accounts already. You can head into your document settings, which I will show you right now. So if I head back into this account here, let's head into one of the original documents here. And if we go into the settings, we can say we scroll all the way down to our enable public sharing. Now you'll see that this already has public sharing enabled. Of course, by default, this is off. So everything's always private and confidential to your Waybook. But if you want to enable that public sharing, you can copy that link and have that same experience from a non-logged in view, which you've always been able to do. You can actually generate a QR code if you wanted to paste that code in various different locations. People can scan that and get access to that document. But to the embed, you can just copy that embed link and take that to whatever location you want to embed that. Now, the best way to show you a Waybook embed is using Waybook embedding. So forgive me on the inception here, but let's just create a new step. And if we do the slash there and do web embed, we can actually then paste the embed code of this document in this document. And you'll see here, because of the size, it's opened it up in our fantastic mobile view. And you can see there that we're getting the public version of that document embedded into whatever service or location that you like. Now, of course, if you choose to turn off that public sharing after the fact, that will actually remove that sharing, and you can control everything, no matter where you've pasted that, centrally from your Waybook account. So for those of you who are looking to continue to extend out that single source of truth, that is available, that is in your account, and you can access that by your settings, both on a subject or on a document basis. So let's move on. If anybody's got any thoughts or questions, keep them coming. Sophia's ready and waiting to say hello and to share any thoughts or hear any thoughts that you've got. And I'm keeping my eyes on the chat and Q&A as always as well. But let's move on. Let's look at our fourth feature, which is heading out to you or already in your accounts. And that is, of course, email insights. Now, this has been a really interesting one for us. If we're totally honest, it wasn't something that we were looking to prioritize. But speaking with a few people, we realized that there's some really interesting questions that were arising and requests that were arising from some of the larger accounts using Waybook as well. So the reason why we looked at email insights was essentially Waybook enables you to create the single source of truth and take care of reminding people that they need to look at a document, or telling somebody that something is updated, or getting them back in to re-review something or complete a test or assessment. But in order to do that, you obviously need to ensure that that communication with the team between Waybook and your team is accurate. And that essentially ultimately enables you to confirm that your team are all on the same page. So what we've released into your accounts now is actually some email insights, both insights and analytics on all of the email activity of your Waybook account to your team members and your Waybook users. So the way you can access this is actually in the reporting section, and you go to email insights. And if I jump back into this account just to show you what it is and where it looks like, you can come up here and click on reporting. And if we go down to email insights, you'll see here of the deliverability rate of your email, how many emails have sent in the last month, what emails have been blocked by the servers. And while we don't share the content of the email, because obviously there may be sensitive information in there, you can see on an individual email basis who it went to, when it was processed, when it was opened, how many times it's been opened. And actually, if you toggle over into error messages, you can actually see the reasons why certain emails are failing on your account. So, for example, if somebody does join your Waybook account and you or they have spelled their email address wrong, or the mailbox is full, or perhaps they've marked it as spam so the system doesn't get through, you can see that instantly within your email insights, and of course, solve that to make sure that everybody always stays consistent and on the same page. So that is a great way of us kind of keeping it up to date. Carrie, I can see your question there. I'm going to just pause and come back to that to see if Sophia can answer it, because I want to make sure I'm giving you the exact right answer. If not, I will come back to it very, very shortly. But this brings us to the piece de resistance of today's session, the thing that made me fall off my chair. And genuinely, this is almost embarrassing to admit, but it's the thing that I've been waking up thinking about and going to bed thinking about over the last few weeks and months. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Waybook Ask. Now, you might have seen me posting about this on LinkedIn in the last couple of days. You might have actually seen lots of conversation, but we've not really showed this to many people yet. So I'm really excited to show you now. What is Waybook Ask? I hear you say, well, we started thinking about what Waybook Ask could be because we started asking the basic question to Waybook users. Do you search for a document or do you search for the answer? And it sounds like quite a basic question. And in some scenarios, people are searching for a document. They want to see the brand guidelines, or they want to go through a document in that clear and consistent way. But in a lot of scenarios, people are looking for the answer. They're not looking to read a whole document again. They might be on a call. They might be speaking with somebody. They might just be trying to get to a quick answer, and they want to understand the answer really quickly. The other thing is, we know from our own experience and also speaking to thousands of other businesses that repetitive questions within your business is actually one of the biggest areas of inefficiency within operations and organizations. So Waybook Ask is designed to entirely eliminate all of those repetitive questions, give people the answers as well as the documents, and make sure that everybody can stay on the same page, not just during their onboarding and training, but as they continue to go within the journey within your business. So what is Waybook Ask? Well, I might have alluded to it already. It is an AI-powered chatbot that is entirely fluent on your business knowledge. So this entirely changes what Waybook can be within your organization. It turns your Waybook into the equivalent of ChatGPT, but exactly focused on the real information that you have within your Waybook. But crucially within that, it's private to your team. None of the information that you have in your Waybook is used to train other AI models, to develop content for other businesses. It always stays private to your team. And really importantly and difficultly, but it's very crucial, that the permission structure are really set and specific within the answers to the chatbot. For example, if you have somebody in accounting asking some questions about processes, procedures, policies, they will get a natural language answer based on the knowledge that they have access to, which might actually be different to if somebody in marketing or front of house would ask those same questions to what looks like the same chatbot. Now, this is available. We've been using it internally for quite a long time, which is why I've been thinking about it and dreaming about it so much. And it's now available in beta. So we're rolling this out to Waybook users who just want to access the magic as quickly as they can. And if you do want access to this, then you can join the waitlist at waybook.com/AI. But let me show you what it actually does and how it works. So in order to show you this, I'm actually going to step out of the demo account that you may be relatively used to seeing. And actually, I'm going to go into our Waybook. So for those of you who want to actually see how we use Waybook internally, this is exactly that. So let me just jump into our Waybook. Welcome. You'll see it's obviously a very similar structure to our demo accounts, but we've got our welcome documents, our customer documents, our marketing documents, consulting, sales, management, product, things like that. And of course, we can always search on our Waybook, as people usually do now if you're looking for those documents. But we're not here talking about search. We're here talking about ask. Now, if I jump on the left-hand side here, you'll be able to see that I'm able to access all of the previous chats which I have on Waybook Ask. But let's just start off by asking a relatively simple question. So if I kind of ask, what are the regular meetings? Now, once again, I can ask this question and I will get access to all of the regular meetings that are relevant to me as a marketing executive compared to me as a CEO, compared to me as an accountant. But you'll see here that based on the documents, here are several regular meetings. We've got daily meetings, we've got the customer sync, we've got the weekly stand-up, we've got the migration sync, we've got midweek sync. Now, we can say, okay, cool. Well, what happens on the Monday morning stand-up? Now, what you'll notice as I'm interacting with this chatbot is I can use very natural languages. It doesn't matter if I'm using exactly the same words. It doesn't matter if I'm spelling things incorrectly, if I'm using slang. The Waybook Ask will know exactly what you're looking for and will create the answers based on that. So according to the documents, the Monday morning stand-up occurs every week at 1 p.m. That's true. UK time, which is important because we're an international team. The purpose is to ensure everyone has a clear vision on core activity that overlaps. So what's amazing about this is it's giving me the answers in a way that I can just understand and can do immediately. But say I want to dive a little bit deeper into that information. Of course, I can carry on asking questions, which I will do, but I can also click on the related steps and say, okay, well, look, here is a document about Monday morning stand-ups on our internal communication doc. And I can just click into that document and dive deeper into the document. But let's say, how can I best prepare? And this enables me to not just receive that information, but interact with your knowledge as you would hope to if you were speaking to a colleague. So to prepare for the meeting, take some time to plan out your week, think about the key tasks and activities, aim to identify your top 3 focuses and priorities and gather the information around that in order to communicate it effectively. Now, you'll see here that I have a few different things on the left-hand side, and these are different chats. So I can continue to speak to Waybook Ask within this. And as I'm communicating on this channel, we're just deepening our understanding of how we understand, how we communicate about the Monday morning stand-ups and the regular stand-up. Now, what we will ask you when you get access to this, if you're happy with the answer, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down, because that is actually how we're continuing to improve Waybook Ask. Now, let's jump into something different. So we've just been able to really quickly see what the regular meetings are within the business and find out what's involved in a specific meeting and how to prepare for it. But let's say, for example, we're looking at managing some of our team, or in fact, extending out our organization. I can say, what is the job description of an SDR? Now, some people might be asking, what is an SDR? Which is also a valid question for Waybook Ask, believe it or not. But you'll see here that this will just tell you the answer. An SDR, or sales development representative, plays an important role in our sales efforts, and they're responsible for managing the end-to-end sales cycle from sourcing leads and making initial contact. Now, in the job description, it will basically say it includes the core things that people need to create. So within here, this is pulled on a couple of different documents, and it is only based on the knowledge that you have within your knowledge base. Now, what's amazing about this is if we were to change the SDR job description, instantly Waybook would relearn what that is, and the answer that we'll get via Waybook Ask will be very different. Now, let me just go in, say, for example, I am somebody working within sales or support, and we might say, what is the main benefit of Waybook for owner of a legal practice? Now, what I can say is I don't believe that we have a document within Waybook that specifically says what the value is for a Waybook for a legal practice owner. But we will have information in our sales handbook, which actually shows all of the people that Waybook is valuable for, and all of the values that we have for various different people. So the Waybook will actually, and you can see here, has combined information from 7 different steps across different documents to actually create a really consistent answer that it helps ensure high levels of compliance are met for the legal practice owner, easy to organize standard operating procedures, guidelines, and other information. And not only does it make it easier to update the documents and disseminate the key information, it allows the practice owner to onboard new team members efficiently and reduce the risks. So this basically means that even though you've got a great structure and a great piece of knowledge around it, instead of reading through 7 different documents and 7 different pieces of information, you are able to interact with that and get the answer both for you and for your team. Now, one other thing I'd just like to test here. So what will Mike cover on the product update webinar on August 9th? Now, to give you a bit of an insight, in order to prepare for these webinars, we have the feature releases that go out within the week. And then as a team, we basically decide what we're going to talk about within this. A Waybook document is created with the images for the slides and everything else. So that information is in our Waybook. And if I wanted to prepare very briefly, or I'm just jumping on this call and I'm like, actually, what is that? Instantly, I can see the order of the things that we want to talk about. And again, that's pulled it from various different documents because it has the context of what a product update webinar is in your account. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is Waybook Ask. I hope people are excited about it, by the way, because I've been so excited about it. I almost can't even think straight within this. So I've just launched a poll to get a sense of what you think. So what do you think about Waybook Ask? Is it amazing? Do you want access immediately? Is it okay? It may or may not be useful, or is it just not something that you're interested in? I can tell you that the answers that are coming through already are positive. They're all number 1, but please do be honest as you come through. So ladies and gentlemen, that is Waybook Ask. It's something that we're so excited about, and we truly do believe that this is the future of knowledge management within our businesses and beyond. So not only will you be able to onboard and train your teams effectively with your clear, structured, searchable single source of truth, manage the flows to make sure that people have those customized onboarding experience, only see the content that you want them to be able to see, track and attest the process. Now you'll be able to actually really ask and interact with your content as they're moving through. I'm going to stop that poll, but in case anybody was wondering, 100% of you have said, it's amazing, give me access, which I'm sure the team can all sigh a big sigh of relief now, because that's exactly what we love to hear. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings me to the end of today's session, or very nearly the end. But there's one last thing to hold on for, because the few things that we're working on now, which you can look forward to seeing here in just 1 month's time, is additional AI features, reader feedback, so you're able to see what your readers, what your team are getting from the information, getting from the searches, and what more they do or don't want to know. We're continuing to optimize that interface to make sure that your single source of truth is as powerful as it can be. And as I'm sure you've become increasingly aware, we are also working on so much more. So thank you so much for being in touch with all of your thoughts, your feedback, your questions, your requests. It really does go a long way in helping us build the best knowledge management system for you and your businesses. But to thank you all for staying on for 35 minutes so far, and I know that there's a lot we've crammed into that time. I think it's time for a swag giveaway. We've not done one of these in a few weeks now. So Sophia is in the background there, and we've taken all of the names of everybody who is on the call. And Sophia, if you could please put the lucky winner into the chat, we can see who's going to be getting some of that Waybook swag. As you can see, there is sun coming in my window here at Waybook. Sorry, in London. Our team in Brazil, however, are a little bit colder. So no matter where you are in the world, you can either get a sun hat, a jumper, a tote bag, whatever you like. So Sophia, if you can just put the name of the lucky winner into the chat. The drum roll. And that's Kathy Miller. Amazing. Thank you so much, Sophia. Kathy, congratulations. You've won our swag giveaway for today's webinar. So we will be getting that over to your inbox and you can make a choice in terms of what you want. For everybody else, we like to thank you all so much for joining us and being such an exciting part of growing your business and keeping your business on the same page. Thank you so much. If anybody's got any thoughts, any questions, you know where we are. We always love to stay in contact, and we look forward to seeing you at one of these sessions very soon. If you are interested in how you can systematize and scale your accounting practice, if that is relevant for you, or in fact a professional development firm, we have a webinar tomorrow with the amazing Tracy Irwin on how she's managed to fully systematize the business and now move and lives in the sun whilst her business continues to grow. So Sophia will send a link to that webinar if you are interested, to see how she's really done an amazing job of that. But for everyone else, thank you so much for your time. Have a lovely day, and I look forward to seeing you on another session sometime soon. Have a great one.